The Congress Bureau of Intimidation was hard at work today, sending a very direct message to friends and foes. If you mess with the Congress government, the CBI will come after you. Were the raids at Stalin Naragiri's house an act of desperate political vendetta? Joining us on this program, a man who knows a thing or two about the CBI, former director of the agency, Mr. R.K. Raghavan. With us also is senior Congress leader Salim Sherwani and BJP leader and lawyer Mahesh Jetmalani. I want to go across first to Mr. R.K. Raghavan. Mr. Raghavan, on the basis of all the experience that you have of handling and running the CBI, do you believe, sir, that no one in the agency took the permission of the political establishment, and the raids that we saw this morning at the DMK chief's son's residence was an action of a CBI team unrelated to any political master?
Yeah, I strongly believe that today's action was not on the basis of any instructions from a political boss. It was done by the CBI. It is quite possible that the CBI director or his immediate deputy was not aware of this. Even if they were aware, possibly they were not familiar with the sensitivities of such an important action.
I don't believe that for a moment, Mr. Raghavan. And let me tell you why. I hold in my hands a CBI press release. This press release, Mr. Raghavan, says that the Directorate of Revenue Intelligence Zonal Unit Chennai received information from informants on the 6th of March, listen carefully sir, 6th of March 2008 to the effect that vehicles were being imported without paying customs duty. Now till, and I'm going through the press release, till the 19th of March 2013, which is 5 years after this tip-off was received, no action was taken. They collected the information, they sat on it. 19th of March is when they got active, and 21st of March is when the raid took place. 20th of March, sir, is when the case was filed. Now this, to my mind, sir, seems too much of a coincidence. It's linked to politics, Mr. Raghavan.
My response was on the basis of my thinking that this was this would have been too crude an attempt to send a message to the DMK. There are many other ways in which you can do it. I honestly believe, I don't have any information. I have not spoken to anybody in the CBI quarters. I keep a respectful distance. So I don't want to embarrass anybody. But I strongly believe that this action was independent of any directions from the...
What then Mr. Raghavan explains receiving this complaint in March 2008, doing nothing about it till the 19th of March 2013, which is also the date when the DMK said they would back off, and for the case to be registered on the 20th of March 2013, which is yesterday. Mr. Raghavan, you are smiling. Please admit the truth, because the entire country is very angry and riled up with the manner in which your agency has acted.
No. Yeah, what you're saying, this is a revelation to me.
It's in the press release, sir. I'm not making any big expose. This is the CBI press release. There's no big expose in what I'm saying. Okay. It's from official CBI documentation, sir.
If that is the case, CBI owes an explanation as to why.
But they've given an explanation. It's a completely bogus and dubious explanation.
Okay. I am not aware of this. Now that you tell me, that it changes my perception.
So you are now saying, former director, that you believe that there is that this is a very, it's almost as if the raid never happened. Joint director in Chennai says, I didn't know. The director in Delhi says he didn't know. The DOPT chief, Narayan Swamy, says he had absolutely no idea. It's almost as if the ghosts came down from heavens. If ghosts came down from the skies to raid the DMK Petaksan. No one ordered the raid.
If all that you're saying is true, Rahul, if all that you're saying is true, my perception changes. If it was independent of this, if this had happened during a course of investigation which had been initiated a few weeks ago, then there is every reason to believe that it is not directed by any political quarters. But because I believe that if this had happened because of political direction, it was a very crude attempt. I don't think.
No, but it's brazen. They're sending a message, Mr. Raghavan. If you don't fall in line, this is what you will do. It's not just a message to Mr. Karunanidhi, it's also a message to Mayawati, it's also a message to Mulayam. Fall in line or else. As Jay Panda says, it's Hotel California. You can come in when you want, but you can't go when you want, because the CBI will come after you.
Normally, I'm inclined to believe, yes, it's an open secret that the CBI is misused for this purpose. But in this particular instance, I still don't believe that the CBI has been used so soon after a major political development. So let's give me some more time. Let me mull over it. And if there is more evidence coming by, and what you say is correct, that 5 years nothing
what
happened.
I'm saying is from the
all of a
CBI
sudden,
press
a
release,
day
there's no
after-
dispute about whether what I'm saying is correct or not. I'm glad we've been able to get you to reconsider your assessment. I want to go across to Salim Sherwani because now we've got the authority of a former CBI director backing my question, Mr. Sherwani, which is that the Congress Bureau of Intimidation was hard at work today to bully Karunanidhi and the DMK and to send a message to the SP and the BSP. How can you be so brazen, sir? Mr. Raghavan says it's a crude attempt. How can your party be so brazen in misusing the CBI?
You know, Rahul, if you look at the statements that have been made by our former Minister of Home, Mr. Chidambaram, even the Prime Minister has made a statement that politically it had nothing to do with the government ordering this raid or asking people to go there.
Nobody believes
And
that,
let
sir.
me ask,
Nobody believes that statement,
no, let
Mr.
them not.
Sherwani.
Sometimes things happen which people will tend to believe later. You must understand one thing, that the DMK had already withdrawn the support. Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav had said he was annoyed about a certain thing, but he had said that he will support. They had got unexpected support from Mamata Banerjee ji. Mayawati ji has said that she does not want to do anything against the government at the moment. So the government was somehow secure in its numbers.
So,
Secondly,
Mr. Sherwani, you're mixing up
I
many
think
facts and confusing the real picture. Mamata Banerjee only came to support the UN HRC resolution or the resolution against Sri Lanka, which was being moved by the government. She wasn't coming back to the UPA court. I have a very simple question for you, Mr. Sherwani. My question is this: if the CBI officers were doing an independent, honest job, why is it that the moment the finance minister said he disapproved of these raids, the CBI officials quickly packed up their bags and came back home if they were doing an honest job? If Mr. Karunanidhi's grandson, is guilty of importing cars without paying taxes, why was he not booked? Why did they come back and pack their bags?
you see, I'm not defending my government at all. You must be very clear on that. All I'm trying to say is that if this was an attempt, as Mr. Raghavan has said, it is a very crude attempt and no political party would like to take that step. You know, the question is not, how do you think if the raid would take place, DMK would come back into the fold? I mean, this is what you are presuming, that a message is being sent to Mr. Mulayam Singh ji or message is being sent to today, Mayawati ji. Today, these people are leaders in their own rights. They have a base. They have a following.
Got a quote also
And
from
politics.
Mayawati. I want to bring Mahesh Jetmalani because Mayawati says that this is politically motivated, that the CBI is often misused. They've misused the CBI against me as well.
Yes.
The Congress would like us to believe, Mahesh Jetmalani, that even the joint director in Chennai, forget Mr. Narayanaswamy, forget the Home Minister, forget the Prime Minister, even the joint director didn't know. The CBI is such an autonomous body that this Karunanidhi's grandson gets raided and no one knows about it. Do you believe what's being said by the government, that they're very angry with the CBI for raiding Mr. Stalin Naragiri?
No, I don't. I mean, there may be a few personalities in government who have a conscience and are really embarrassed by this. But barring that, I would have to say that this is a concerted effort. And one must get to the bottom of this and find out who is behind this crude attempt. Please note what Mr. Raghavan has said. Mr. Raghavan says that he can't believe it only because it's such a crude attempt. He is not saying that this government doesn't subvert the CBI in this matter. He decides he does. But what he says is that it does it so much more subtly, that this is so crude that it defies Mr. Raghavan's credulity. That's
now, Mahesh,
the extent to which
Mahesh,
the government
now I know why
yes.
you are such a Mahesh. Now I know why you are such a good lawyer. You got the essence of what he said. Because I don't think any government in place would make such a crude attempt. That itself shows possibly the government is not behind this. This is my
belief. It just shows how brazen. It just shows how brazen it can be, Mr. Raghavan. There's a long track record over here. When the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister... yes, Mahesh, finish your argument, please.
Rahul, I only want to say that nobody expects, you're right, this government has become so brazen, but the answer to Mr. Raghavan's incredulity is that because the government has got away each time, with every episode of subversion, it becomes even more emboldened to do it, so that it becomes more and more brazen on the next occasion. That's what's happened. This government is so now become so unabashed about its subversion that it will go to any lengths. And this of course is the most crude attempt. And as you pointed out, Rahul, this is a 5-year-old episode. Look at the timing. Why would it happen 5 years later? Just about 3 days or 4 days after the DMK announces its withdrawal on the NHRC issue, the Sri Lanka issue in the NHRC. The proximity of the raid with that decision of the DMK is so telling as to be almost conclusive.
You're saying that the writing on the wall is so clear that nobody who's not got blinkers on, Mr. Sherwani, can dispute the facts. The complaint comes 5 years ago, nothing is done about it. On the 19th of March, everybody gets active. 20th, the case is filed. 21st, the raid takes place. The link is very, very clear, Mr. Sherwani. Your strongest ally, your strongest and only dependable ally at this time is the Congress Bureau of Intimidation.
Yes, Rahul, the timing is really questionable. The timing is putting, Congress has to answer a lot, give a lot of answers. I understand that.
I thought you were from the Congress.
Even for
you
a
have
moment,
to answer, Mr. Sherwani. Suddenly you're passing the blame on someone else.
Yes, I'm answering. No. I am saying not even for a minute am I going to believe that Congress High Command or the ministers in the Congress was order a raid like this so close to the fact that everyone will start suspecting them. I mean, this is totally brazen. How can you expect a government today which is governing the country, whether they're doing a good job, whether they're doing a bad job, they are today holding the reins of the country, and they will allow something like this to happen? Where
because I can cite several other instances of equal brazenness. You know, when Rajshekar Reddy was funding the Congress's election campaign at the center and at the state, and his son was looting Andhra Pradesh, no one saw anything wrong in what Jagan Mohan Reddy was doing. The moment the father died and the son went his own way, suddenly you set the CBI against him. When Mayawati is backing you, you want to allow the disproportionate asset cases to close. Same with Mulayam. The CBI has been constantly misused by the government with a level of brazenness that is almost unimaginable, Mr. Sherwani.
You know, I cannot answer those questions because I will have to go more into the depth. But as you said, let's look at Jagan's case for a minute. You know, he withdrew support. You said that he was raided and he was, today he's put behind bars. He has been put behind bars because the court took a certain action on him. And I'm not trying to defend the CBI action, but on this particular case, what happened this morning, I'm not ready to believe even for a minute that the government was aware of it.
No, I blame equally, Mr. Raghavan, the CBI officials. You know, at a time when a former director like Ashwini Kumar sets a bad precedent by recently becoming the governor of Nagaland, you know, officials also will feel that they have the constant urge to please their political masters. You get better promotions, you get better postings, more plum postings. A former CBI director, do you agree with Ashwini Kumar becoming governor of Nagaland? Is it okay for a CBI officer to do that, sir?
Yeah, it definitely, this appointment raised a few concerns. I would like to expatiate further on this because there are some sensitivities. If the government in
I don't want you to couch what you're saying in diplomatese, Mr. Raghavan. Do you think it is condemnable for the CBI director soon after his retirement to be taking up a plum position as governor of a northeastern state? Is that okay in your estimate, sir?
Not at all. It's a call which the government and the opposition should take. They should sit together and ensure that no CBI director is given.
No, but what about the CBI officials themselves? What about, Mr. Raghavan, the CBI officials themselves? Why can't Ashwini Kumar say, I don't believe this is inappropriate, I don't believe this is appropriate, I don't believe it is moral, and therefore I don't want to be governor of Nagaland? The problem also comes from your agency, sir. They want to ingratiate like a political master.
If the individual has been appointed, has been given such a plum job, then it's for the individual to take his decision and proceed therefrom. So I am not competent to comment on that. But basically, I agree with you that no CBI director should get an appointment like this very soon after he laid down office. For this, both the political formations should sit together, evolve a certain code of conduct. I personally feel that CBI director gets a measly 2-year tenure. If you make his tenure 5 years, the FBI director enjoys a 10-year tenure. Make it 5 years and say that he will not be eligible for any other job thereafter. Then possibly a kind of independence will be built into the office of the CBI
No,
director.
because Mahesh, the problem seems
there.
to be twofold. You know, maybe there is also the possibility of a CBI team in Chennai feeling, you know, let's go out and raid DMK chief's house because this is the best way of ensuring our political bosses get very happy and maybe we'll get a better promotion, maybe we'll get the posting of our choice. The problem is twofold, and a former director like Ashwini Kumar has just shown, if you live up to what the government wants, you get a plum posting, you become governor of Nagaland.
But, Rahul, I don't think that any CBI officer, even a joint director, would have the courage to do take such a blatantly political act against so high profile a figure entirely on his own. I mean, I don't think that there has to be some political connivance at this, some nod, some wink at the highest levels, because it is not possible. He's too high profile a person, and this is an old case, as you pointed out. It would inevitably raise eyebrows and it create a kind of storm which it has created. So I don't think that any CBI officer would have the guts, unless this was recently done. I mean, if this was a recent FIR and it just happened to be a pure coincidence that the timing was a few days after the even so, as a CBI officer, if I was in his place, I would have thought twice that look, criminal investigation should be seen to be fair at least. So I would just wait unless there was a question of some disappearance of evidence.
That's absolutely
but an import
true.
of car thing.
This is not an ordinary businessman in Chennai who's being raided, Mr. Raghavan. This is the residence of the former chief minister and also where Stalin stays currently. And the CBI press release makes it seem as if even the joint director in charge of Chennai operations didn't know about it. Surely it is inconceivable, sir, for a junior official to wake up in the morning, pick his team and go to raid Karunanidhi's residence?
Yeah, I won't like to comment on it unless I have some more facts. Whatever you say stands to reason that possibly there was a direction from above. But
there has to be a direction from above. I'm glad that you're changing your stand.
You cannot. So there are two things here. One, the political correctness. The second, the legal correctness. I think you cannot find fault with the CBI if it had observed all formalities and then gone into Mr. Stalin's residence and did research. The other thing is political correctness. Politically, possibly, it was unwise. The ink had not dried on the resignation of the DMK ministers, and then this raid takes place within a day. I think quite a few eyebrows have been raised. So there is a mismatch between political correctness and the legal correctness.
Mr. Sherwani, the fact that this is the CBI, Mr. Sherwani, this is a CBI raiding Stalin's residence. It's not some ordinary businessman who's been raided. Mahesh Jethmalani says it is inconceivable that a junior official will take such a big decision on his own. It's not possible, sir.
Well, no. I think Mahesh has a very, very valid point. But let me put another thought. That who is now taking the flak? The Congress party. Who is taking the blame? The Congress party. Who is getting hurt by everything that has happened today? The Congress party. Let's for a minute
I don't agree with that. Mr. Sherwani, I don't agree with that. I'll tell you why I don't agree with it. Because, see, you got Mulayam to fall in line. By taking this decision and by immediately then disowning it, you've ensured that in the parliamentary party meeting which took place soon after the raid, Mulayam did not take a decision to back out. There is a link. You've sent a message to Mulayam and Mayawati.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that at all. I think whether it's Mr. Mulayam Singh or whether it is Mayawati ji, they are too big a leaders just by someone being raided that they will take a cue and they will fall in line. If there are many occasions where Mr. Mulayam Singh speaks his mind, where he calls the shot. So saying that just because something like this has happened and Mr. Mulayam Singh will fall in line or Mayawati ji will fall in line.
Because I have a comment, Mr. Jethmalani, from Mayawati. She says she too has been a victim of CBI being misused. by the Congress for its political interests. Do you think a message was being sent out
But
to
she has
SP and
also
DSP?
said, she has also said,
yes, that if you mess
She
with
has
us,
also
if
said
you
that
walk
the
away,
threatened
we
her.
will unleash the CBI against you.
That's true. I mean, who better than Mayawati to know, to state this fact? And I don't know whether she's sending out a message, but she's certainly sending out a warning that look, don't try and do this to any other ally. Otherwise, you'll face a severe rebuff from me. That's certainly possible. I don't think the Congress dare do this ever again. But this particular episode does smack that there is a serious political connivance.
Mr. Raghavan, there's a very simple second question. If these officials went and read, and I'm reading once again from the press release, the farmhouse of Aragiri and the residence of Mr. Stalin, they didn't find the car over there, so they went back. Why is it then they didn't go to another residence? If they had information that this is where these imported cars are and this is a violation of custom duty, then why didn't they go to residence 2, residence 3? The moment Kamal Nath Chidambaram came out and said that they disapprove of the raids, the CBI team has been removed from this case, they've been called back home. Why didn't they take their raids further?
I don't know whether they went back without completing that task. They looked for the car.
So the press release says they didn't find this particular car at that house, so they came back home.
Yes.
This is moments after Chidambaram came on headlines today to say that he disapproved of these raids. The team panicked. They came back to their office. Why would they do that? If they were honestly doing their job, there's no reason to panic. If it has nothing to do with their political masters, they have no reason to go back home. They should have continued their search and raids.
I don't know whether that is correct. What makes you believe that they are not pursuing other leads? They came to this house, they didn't find the car. I mean, I don't know whether they went back only because of the statements made by some ministers in the cabinet. It is just possible that they have finished their exercise there. And so you can't disprove it also. If the CBI takes the stand that they went for a specific purpose of looking for the car and the car is not there, then that is why they came back. And
no, why would they come back to their office? Mr. Raghavan, you've been a crack investigator yourself. Let me ask you a direct question. If you go looking for a clue in venue A, you don't find it in venue A, you go to venue B, you go to venue C, you keep tracking it till you find that car. You don't just come back to your office and sit down. You should have seen those pictures. There was sudden panic. The moment these comments started coming, the CBI realized they were out of line. There was panic. They quickly sat in their cars and ran away from there, not to be seen. And I can guarantee to you, there will be no further seizures. There will be no further raids because now the officials will not do their job.
I'm not sure of all that. It is possible they are pursuing other leads. Let us give them the benefit of doubt. It is just possible they have other clues, they are working on it. But as far as this particular episode is concerned, they went there, they didn't find, they specifically went there looking for the car. They didn't find it and they went back. They could have been intimidated by the statements made by some of the ministers.
No, but Mahesh Jethmalani is smiling when he hears you say this. Mr. Jethmalani, do you find it incredulous that instead of going to the next known address of the accused, they come back to their office? If you didn't find it in his main house, you go to the other residence. There are so many houses that Stalin has. You don't just come back home.
Well,
and why is the team being taken off?
There are a whole lot of questions. There are a whole lot of questions about the CBI action in this matter. First of all, the timing. I mean, forget the proximity. Why 5 years? Did they expect a car which was imported 5 years ago? I take it that's the case. A car 5 years ago. Why did they expect to find it in his residence? When did they discover that this car was imported by Mr. Stalin or somebody in his household? When were all these facts known to them and why did they choose?
The facts were known on 6 March 2008. The facts were known 5 years ago.
So there you go. So there you go. Why,
okay, I think
did they wait for 5 years for this raid?
I think the point has been made. Mr. Raghavan, with the experience at his command, has said A, former CBI directors should not be taking up plump positions, and B, that this is a very, very fishy raid. It doesn't seem to be an action only of some junior official in Chennai, regardless of the protestations from the finance minister, from the parliamentary affairs minister. The coincidence is just too stark. This was Bureau of Intimidation at work, doing its political bidding, saying thank you to their political masters. It's a shame. It's a shame on the CBI officers. It's also a shame on the political establishment to allow such raids to take place. And nobody frankly believes that these raids had nothing to do with what the political bosses were saying. Mr. Salim Sherwani, Mr. Mahesh Jethmalani, R.K. Raghavan for joining us on the Center Stage Face Off this evening. Thank you very much, sir.